Wake up. This isn't motivation. This is an autopsy. Because the life you want isn't being stolen from you. It's being slowly murdered by your habits. Weak habits are killing you. Not dramatically. Not all at once. Quietly. Every day. They don't feel dangerous. That's why they work. They feel normal. They feel deserved. They feel comfortable. And comfort is the deadliest drug you'll ever touch. Weak habits don't destroy your life in one moment. They destroy it in patterns. They destroy it in routines. They destroy it in what you tolerate. You don't wake up one day a failure. You become one by repeating the same weak decisions until they feel like who you are. Sleeping in when you said you'd get up. Scrolling when you said you'd focus. Quitting when it gets uncomfortable. Promising yourself you'll change tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. Weak habits steal your future while keeping you comfortable in the present. That's the trade. Comfort now, regret later. And most people accept that deal without even realizing it. They think rest is harmless. They think discipline is extreme. They think suffering is optional. It's not. Suffering is guaranteed. The only choice is when. You either suffer through discipline now, or you suffer through regret later. Weak habits don't just stop progress, they kill self-respect. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you lose trust in yourself. And when you don't trust yourself, confidence disappears. You stop believing your own words. You stop taking yourself seriously. You stop trying as hard. That's how mental weakness is built. Not because you're incapable, but because you trained yourself to quit. Weak habits love excuses. They dress themselves up as logic. They sound reasonable. You're tired. You deserve a break. You'll do it later. But deep down, you know when you're lying. That quiet discomfort you feel isn't negativity. It's awareness. It's the part of you that knows you're wasting potential. And the longer you ignore it, the heavier it gets. Weak habits thrive in distraction. Scrolling, binging, consuming, planning without executing. You stay busy, but you don't move forward. Busy is not productive. Comfort is not peace. And normal is not safe. Comfort zones are graves for potential. Everything you want exists outside of them. You don't lack motivation. You lack standards. Discipline isn't about being intense. It's about refusing to negotiate with weakness. Strong people aren't special. They just stopped letting weak habits live rent-free in their lives. They caught them early. They challenged them daily. They chose discomfort on purpose. And that choice compounds, just like weak habits compound in the opposite direction. One skipped day becomes a pattern. One excuse becomes a habit. One habit becomes identity. This isn't about perfection. It's about awareness. Catching yourself in the exact moment you're about to choose easy over right. And choosing differently. Not once. Not sometimes. Every day. Weak habits don't die from motivation. They die from replacement. You replace comfort with structure. You replace excuses with action. You replace distraction with focus. And at first it feels forced. It feels uncomfortable. It feels unnatural. That's how you know it's working. Growth feels like resistance before it feels like power. You are not fighting the world. You are fighting the version of yourself that wants to stay the same. And that version will fight back. It will whisper. It will negotiate. It will remind you how good comfort feels. But weakness doesn't need rest. It needs boundaries. And boundaries are built with discipline. You don't rise by feeling inspired. You rise by refusing to sink. If your habits are weak, your life will reflect it. No exceptions. But here's the truth most people miss. If habits built this life, habits can rebuild it. That means responsibility becomes power. And once you accept that, everything changes. This is only the beginning. Once you become aware of your weak habits, you can never unsee them. You start noticing how often you choose easy instead of right. You notice how often you delay things that matter and rush things that don't. You notice how much time you waste pretending to prepare instead of actually doing the work. That awareness is uncomfortable, but it's necessary because ignorance is what kept you stuck. Weak habits survive in darkness, and the moment you shine light on them, they start to panic. That's why most people avoid self-awareness, because it forces accountability. It forces you to admit that you are the reason you are still here and not where you want to be. That realization hurts, but it's also the moment your power comes back. Because if you built this version of your life, then you can rebuild it. But rebuilding means change, and change demands sacrifice. You don't get to keep everything the same and expect different results. Some routines have to die. Some comforts have to be removed. Some environments have to be abandoned. Some people have to lose access to you. Weak habits are supported by weak environments, and if you stay in the same surroundings, you will keep producing the same outcomes. Discipline starts with subtraction before it ever adds anything. You subtract distractions, you subtract excuses, you subtract easy dopamine. And at first it feels like punishment, because your brain is addicted to comfort. It's used to quick pleasure and instant relief. When you take that away, your mind rebels. You feel restless. You feel irritated. You feel bored. That boredom is powerful because boredom forces you to confront what you've been avoiding. Most people run from boredom because boredom exposes emptiness. But disciplined people use boredom as a weapon. They use it to build focus. They use it to build resilience. Weak habits make you reactive. Strong habits make you intentional. Weak habits control your emotions. Strong habits control your direction. This is where discipline separates itself from motivation. Motivation depends on how you feel. Discipline depends on what you decided. Feelings change daily. Decisions don't. Weak people are slaves to their moods. Strong people act regardless of them. That's why discipline feels cold. It doesn't care how you feel. It cares about the standard. And standards are what shape identity. You don't rise to what you want. You fall to what you tolerate. If you tolerate laziness, you will become lazy. If you tolerate excuses, you will live an excused life. If you tolerate weakness, you will become weak. Strong people are ruthless with their standards because they understand the cost of lowering them. They've lived that life already and they refuse to go back. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about doing the same boring, hard things long enough for them to compound. That compounding is invisible at first. That's why most people quit. They want immediate validation. They want results they can show. But real growth happens in silence. It happens when no one is watching. It happens when nothing feels rewarding. It happens when you keep going anyway. Weak habits thrive on instant gratification. Strong habits thrive on delayed gratification. That delay is where character is built. Every time you choose discipline, you strengthen trust in yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you reinforce your identity. Slowly, you stop doubting yourself. Slowly, you stop hesitating. Slowly, you stop negotiating with weakness. You become reliable. And reliability is dangerous. Because a reliable person doesn't need motivation. They don't need hype. They don't need someone to push them. They push themselves. That's when life starts responding differently. Not because life is fair, but because prepared people create leverage. Opportunities don't come to the most talented. They come to the most consistent. And consistency is boring. Consistency is lonely. Consistency is repetitive. That's why it works. Weak habits can't survive repetition. They rely on chaos. They rely on inconsistency. They rely on emotional decisions. Discipline starves them. Discipline suffocates them. Discipline replaces them. You don't become strong by doing something extreme once. You become strong by doing something disciplined every day. And as your habits change, your self-respect changes. You stop accepting things that drain you. You stop wasting time on people who don't respect your effort. You stop explaining your goals to people who don't understand your grind. Because explanation is a form of seeking approval, and disciplined people don't need approval. They need progress. This is where loneliness increases, but so does clarity. You start seeing clearly who is aligned with your growth and who is attached to your old version. Some people only liked you when you were weak, when you were available, when you didn't challenge them by improving. Your growth will expose insecurities. Your discipline will make people uncomfortable. Let them be uncomfortable. You are not responsible for making other people feel better about their lack of effort. You are responsible for becoming who you are capable of being. And that responsibility is heavy, but it's better than regret. Regret is the heaviest weight you will ever carry. Discipline is hard, but regret is harder. Weak habits promise comfort, but deliver shame. Strong habits demand effort, but deliver pride. Choose your pain, because pain is unavoidable. The only question is whether it will build you or break you. And if you're still here listening, that means something in you knows the truth. Something in you is tired of being stuck. Something in you wants more. That voice is not weakness. That voice is potential. And potential demands action. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Because habits don't change with time. They change with decisions. And every decision you make today is either killing you or building you. There is no neutral. At some point, discipline stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like identity. You no longer ask yourself if you should do the work. You simply do it. There is no debate, no inner argument, no delay. Weak habits lose their voice because you stopped listening to them. They don't disappear overnight, but they lose authority. They no longer decide your actions. You do. This is where most people think they've arrived, but this is only the beginning. Because once discipline becomes who you are, the standard rises again. What used to feel hard becomes normal. What used to feel impressive becomes expected. You realize that the goal was never comfort. The goal was control. Control over your time. Control over your mind. Control over your impulses. Control over your direction. And control is freedom. Weak habits steal freedom. They keep you reactive. They keep you dependent. They keep you stuck in cycles you swear you'll break tomorrow. Discipline breaks cycles. It rewires behavior. It reshapes identity. You stop living life on autopilot and start living it intentionally. That's when momentum becomes dangerous. Because momentum doesn't care how you feel. It carries you forward whether you're excited or tired. And when momentum meets discipline, results become inevitable. Not fast, not flashy, but undeniable. This is where people start noticing. Not because you announce it, but because your energy changes. Your posture changes. Your presence changes. You don't chase attention anymore. Attention finds you. You don't talk much. You move. You don't explain your plans. You execute them. And that silence scares people. Because silent progress is threatening. It forces others to confront their own stagnation. Some will respect you. Some will resent you. Neither matters. What matters is that you don't stop, because stopping is easy. You've done that before. You know where that road leads. Discipline is not about intensity. It's about durability. Can you keep going when the excitement fades? Can you keep showing up when no one is watching? Can you keep your standards high when life gets heavy? Because life will test you. Not when you're strong, but when you're exhausted. Not when you're confident, but when you're uncertain. And on that day, weak habits will try to return. They'll whisper that you deserve rest, that you've done enough, that you can ease up just this once. And that's the real test. Not whether you can start, but whether you can continue. Because greatness is not built in moments of hype. It's built in moments of resistance. When everything in you wants to stop and you don't, that's where identity is forged. That's where the weak version of you finally dies. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly. through consistency, through discipline, through repetition. And once that version is gone, you don't miss it. You don't romanticize it. You don't go back, because you know the cost of weakness now. You've felt it, you've lived it, and you refuse to pay it again. Weak habits don't kill you instantly. They kill you slowly. One excuse at a time, one delay at a time, one comfortable choice at a time. Discipline saves you the same way, slowly, quietly, daily. Until one day you look back and realize you're no longer the person who started. You're sharper, harder, calmer, more controlled, more dangerous. Not because you dominate others, but because you dominate yourself. And that is the highest form of power. This is not a motivational speech. This is a warning. Weak habits are killing you whether you admit it or not. And discipline is the only way out. Not motivation, not inspiration, not waiting for the right moment. Action, repetition, standards, every day. So decide right now who you are going to be. The person who keeps choosing comfort, or the person who builds something unstoppable. Because no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to push you. No one is coming to do the work for you. This is on you, and it always has been. If this hit you, it's because you're ready. Ready to stop lying to yourself. Ready to stop negotiating with weakness. Ready to build a life that actually means something. So don't close this video and forget it. Don't feel inspired and do nothing. Choose one habit, one action, one decision. And do it today, then do it again tomorrow and again. Until discipline is no longer something you do, it's who you are. This is your wake-up call. This is your line in the sand. This is where weak habits end. And this is where your ruthless arc truly begins.